Yo, YouTube, what's up, boys? We're back again for another video. Guys, so thank you for all the love, all the support, like I always say. It doesn't go unnoticed. We just hit 300 subscribers on, or 300 followers on Twitch, growing on YouTube, and let's just keep the ball rolling. So, I like to do breakdown videos, give you guys just like insight on what I do. It's not the way, but it's just a way. And so, if any little thing can help, I try to give you guys my perspective on things that have worked for me and just how I do things personally. So, um, let's get into this video. So this game, I got 10 kills, 3k damage in ranked, and as you can see, I'm playing Axel. So I was able to kind of gauge my teammates' abilities, like their skill, kind of early on. And so we're gonna kind of break this down, right? So first off, we're dropping in barometer. Um, One thing you're gonna notice that I like to do when I'm looting, like my loot pathing, is I don't pick up weapons that I know I'm not gonna use. And the reason why is because for me it wastes time. Like if I know I'm gonna use an RE, I pick it up. If I know I'm feeling like using an alternator, I pick it up. But if meta isn't an Eva or meta is not a Mastiff, then I'm just not gonna pick it up, even if it's early game. So unless I have to. So what you're gonna notice here is like I choose to be really efficient when it comes to that. So I'm not having to change out weapons and switch weapons and do all of that, right? I want to be as quick as possible to being able to look at where I need to go, where my teammates need to go, guys around me that I need to fight. And what you're going to notice here is taking inventory of the zone, right? Now, looking at the zone, know that usually if zones played closer to the edge of storm, usually zone's gonna play somewhat like this. Like this is the part of zone that's gonna be pretty much played. And so you know that if you're here, I know that I need to get somewhere in this direction. Somewhere. I know zone's not gonna go here. I know it's not gonna go here. I know it's not gonna play anywhere here. I know based on that's where zone's gonna usually end. So I tell my teammates, hey, zone's gonna play somewhere between there, and we start prepping for that. All right, so what's going on in my head? So I see that there's a guy that's shooting on height, and the first thing that goes into my mind immediately is there's a guy shooting on height. I need to first figure out, okay, is it probably not one guy, because he wouldn't be that confident shooting us from across the map, knowing that he could get swung on by all three of us and die. So I don't know where his two teammates are, and so my first initial thought is, let me get on height and get a sense of where everything is. What a lot of bad players or average players will do is they'll stay here at this door and they'll look here. But that puts you at a disadvantage, because now if a team is somewhere close, they'll just take height. Now you're at a disadvantage having to play from low to high while giving this guy over here an opportunity to cut the distance and get to his teammates. So I choose to just go ahead and get height immediately to be able to get information and be at an advantage. So you're gonna see how me doing this is actually gonna work to my favor, right? So I immediately do it. Now I'm able to kind of sit here, get a little bit of information, take my time. By that time, now we have our abilities. So you just take my time, right? I'm behind cover. No need to rush. Teammate does great damage here. Now I'm able to kind of look and I hear something below me. Now I spot that now we can create the separation from the 3 stack. So we got one guy here that I've identified. Now we got another guy that's over here. That's number 2. Don't know where number 3 is. But all I know is there's one guy by himself. So we try to take advantage of that. I miss some shots. I'm trying to anticipate where he's going over here. So I'm trying to lob nades to see if I can get some damage over here. Teammate does damage, good damage again. And we don't wait. We try to just immediately get this isolation. He's by himself here. His teammate's still way over here. It's exactly what you want. No, you can't stare. You can't sit here and stare at this. You got to go. I ult a little bit too low here. I'm still getting used to Axel, but that's okay because they heard the noise and so it kept them behind cover, which is actually good. I go to take an angle here. I don't take a direct route, which is perfect. My teammates are smart. They see that I go right, they go left. So boom, now we got a cross angle. And I always talk about having that cross angle. So you can't get a cross angle if you're hugging your teammates. So you have to know where to go. I know they have cover. I know the structure and how it looks and how it works. I go and get my angle. My job here is try to get it down and do damage, but just don't get knocked. Allow my teammates and to help me squeeze these guys out of the spot. Do some damage. You see, I unpeak, and while I'm unpeaking, I'm giving my teammate time to climb up here. He climbs up. He's focusing on the other guy. I do damage to the Revenant. Teammate was able to get one down, I believe. Yep. Now right here, teammate gets one down. We have one guy, that's their third, that's separated. So we created the 3v1 and we created it and we really kind of tried to play this together very well. My teammates were pretty aggressive here and we single out this one guy here, right? All right, we knock him. Now it's a 3v2. Teammate makes the calm. Yo, he's up top in the building. Now we know that, right? I go ahead and get one of these guys out of the way because he's right there in my face. And I don't want there to be any sort of resin that could happen. I put the Q down just in case the guy wanted to jump out and try to run. I have something that's already there to be able to just turn and go. So it's a Watson team here. I end up getting up here, trying to get height. Teammate does great damage. He cracks him. I'm able to cut in. I'm able to cut in. Get this guy. And we knock him out. Get him out the way. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so now we're just looking to kind of rotate, right? So I always kind of talk about this. All right, so I always kind of talk about this. So certain zones require certain type of rotations or certain type of ways you can fight. Because we were at barometer, right? We're really on the edge of zone on the other end. For me, I want to prioritize just getting all the way up here first, right? To me, less is more when it comes to that. You know, if you watch my other video where I talked about, you know, being at certain zones, you know, that require like a lot of traversing, you know, I try to prioritize that first. And so that's what I try to do. Now, I'm all for fighting, like I said, when we're kind of in the area, right? I'm fine with that. So what you're going to notice here is this. So we're moving in, and zone actually pulls way harder over there towards north pad. Yep, boom. So it pulls up here towards North Pad, right? So we're close, right? We're already right here at Cascades checkpoint area. So now the fun begins, right? So taking our time and we're doing the right things. This is kind of where you want to be. Um, what as you're at this certain point within the game. So we already have blue shields. If you can get blue shields in the beginning, do it. Don't rush past these harvesters, right? And so luckily we were able to get another harvester, which is gonna boom put my shields almost all the way up. And this is good because I was wanting to go. My teammates come as a person here. So we take the fight now, right? So my teammates are over here on the left side of the rock. So I choose to obviously go right, right? And like I said, I always talk about this, creating the cross. I'm shooting here, my teammates are shooting here. However many guys that are up in this area can't look at both of us. I'm not hugging my teammates. This is just what's going on in my head, right? So I go to use the heady of this slope, and I have cover that's here, and so it forces anybody that's going to come over to really wide swing to look and see me, which puts them at a disadvantage for my teammates here. So that's why I did what I did, right? So I know there's guys in the area. I'm trying to just see if I can get something going. I identify as a guy here. All right, so teammate goes off here. So I'm trying to kind of see what's going on first, right? Teammate was able to actually trade, or not trade, but get one down. So here, I got this Bloodhound super weak, and I think teammate was able to get this guy. Yep, boom, able to get him. And teammate had another dome, which is crazy. Right, so we take our time here, and I wanted to throw out my ult here. I believe that I do. Just to make sure no one's gonna come over that hill and try to do anything, right? Teammate was able to I put my Q down so teammate could take it when he was able to get to it. Right, so I'm thinking about my teammates, right? I'm not thinking about just myself. All right, so we get the full reset. Not sure if we got the finish on anybody beforehand, but I'm hearing my Gibby crack, do a lot of damage here, right? And so I'm hearing that my teammate, he knows what he's doing. So here we just have to be confident, and we got to just win this, right? I identify something so all this happens very quickly. So boom, I identify that I just need to take this 1v1 and be confident and chow. Now I identify very fast that there's a guy here and there's a guy over here. Now, the reason why I don't stay here on low ground is because I don't want to get shot from this direction, and I don't want to get shot from this direction. Because my teammates are not close enough to help me if I try to challenge these guys on low ground. Most bad players will get the knock, see this guy, and try to challenge it, not thinking about the guy over here. I chose not to do that, and so what I do is immediately go to take height here, because see what already started to happen was the guy down low started to shoot me. You see that? That's exactly why I chose to immediately take height here. If they get the res off, so be it, but I'm in a better spot. So I immediately take height, and then I go to nade the ground to stop any sort of res that could happen. Now I took the space from the knock that I had, and so now it allows my teammates to also take the space, because now I'm controlling the space. So I hear some footsteps, and I preemptively nade this middle area, because I'm thinking that maybe they could peek this window or this open area, or they could try to use it to climb up. So I don't want that to happen. So I throw it here. Me and teammate are on height. Teammate chooses to go inside, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, it's free. That's a Q. It's free. So let's go ahead and squeeze this team out. Let's not even wait. Boom. I go in with teammate. I see there's a guy in here because I can see him shooting. I immediately go better safe than sorry. Now, let me show you something here. Let me show you something over here. Lifeline did a newbie mistake. I've seen this plenty of times with guys. As you can see here, Lifeline goes in here, right? And she's engaging somebody. She's engaging somebody. Instead of her saying, "Let me keep engaging the person that I'm shooting," and then she sees me coming, why not turn back around and say, "All right, let's take them together." Instead, she chooses to, for some reason, switch off of who she's fighting and then runs all the way towards teammate. Why? I've seen that so many times from guys who just kind of like don't think the right way. It's like a weird thing, but I'm like whatever. So I ult inside because I'm like, you know what? Better safe than sorry. I'm not gonna walk into fire, and so I'm just gonna use that distraction to my advantage. And so we end up wiping this team really quickly. I believe we get pulled up on by another team. All right. So now I know it's another team. So my goal is let me get healthy. All right. Another team, let me get healthy. I don't spend too much time in the box because I don't really need much. I know we have to rotate, so my reaction is let me grab a evac. Got one guy on my door, he's getting shot at, and that's perfect for me. And so I'm looking for the opportunity to shoot here. This Gibby gets a guy down, and now I'm able to come out and engage, but I don't want to stay too long here at this door because obviously I just saw that there were shots that were being hit from the door. So I'm trying to be very, very careful at, peeking from that door, right? This is information. You're just gathering information to be able to tailor your play style in the moment. So my teammate gets one down. I see he has dome down. And so I'm like, all right, you know what? If I need to go down low, I can. Try to get one of these knocks, one of these kills, because I don't want all of this team to just fully reset, right? All right, so I'm like, you know what? We got a minute left. This is our opportunity to try to rotate. And as we're rotating in here, right? Me and Lifeline are the only ones rotating right now. Gibby's not. I don't know if he's caught up or what, but I don't want to just leave him because obviously I can tell he's been, really, really good so far, right? And so I'm looking for him, I'm looking for him, I'm looking for him, and boom. It's a good thing. I looked for him. There's a guy right here. Teammate goes over to help just to make sure he's okay. I start to try to put shots into this guy here just to get him off a teammate. To kind of scare him a little bit, right? Make him panic. He throws E back down. Now we hop on him. Boom. Now we hop on him. You can't, it's only so much dancing you could do with 3 guys, right? All right, so we get this and we keep moving. Now, we notice there's a team that went this way as well. So there's a team that's going through this choke. Storm's taking for a hefty amount. Lifeline's behind. I don't know how me and Gibby were able to make it out of this. But what's going on in my head is we have to kill this team in front of us. And if we die for it, we die for it, right? But there's nothing we could really do other than kill that team in front of us right now. So that's my goal, is to kill this team and also take the space after we kill them to be able to get into zone. And so we have one guy in front of us. Luckily, I'm able to do a lot of good damage to him and try to just force my way in the zone right here. I don't know how I made it out of here, just barely. Right? And teammate cracks this guy. He has more HP than me, so I couldn't have made it in. Teammate does a great job right here of just throwing dome down and we're just playing this edge and just healing. Like I said, this Gibby was like really, really good. Me and him were able to just kind of keep up, in sync with no communication other than knowing what to do through our gameplay. So we heal up here and we get healthy. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to look and see what kind of opportunities are around me right now. And so I'm looking to see, okay, where do we need to play? What's free? And also, can I grab teammates banner? Right? Is there a possibility for a res? So we're able to push a lot of these teams that are on the edge here. We're able to push them out here, which is exactly what you want. You want to be able to push the fight, push the problem out in front of you, so you don't have to worry about it being all up on you and then having to worry about edge. So it gives us an opportunity to kind of be able to move in the zone and reset, right? So I take the opportunity to try to grab banner. I wasn't sure, I couldn't have time to look in this box and grab a death bot or grab a beacon, but now we're prioritizing our next move, and so I'm looking and I'm like, all right, we need to get out of this spot because we're in a corner. We got our backs against the wall. And luckily, this spot was free. And so what immediately goes on in my head is we can use the tunneling as cover to rotate in. So I don't need much here. What I'm really aiming to do here is make sure my ammo's healthy and make sure I have nades on me. And then now what I'm really trying to look for is picks and kills from any guys that are on the edge. So like I said, I see a res over here on the left, and I'm trying to look to see if I can get any shots, any picks on these guys. We also see a res going on to our right. I'm also taking that information in, just trying to kind of see what we have going on. So we got two guys that are swinging over here on our left. Now this is exactly who we want to kill and focus, right? So I don't want to peek low to high. I want to get maybe somewhere. And so I identify cover here. Just even if it's small, I identify that versus standing here in the open. So I go to it and immediately start shooting. I get him weak. I get him weak. Teammate is doing great damage. I shoot this out to take care of the guy here to give me time to kill this guy. This is, like I said, this is where the high level kind of thinking comes into play, right? And for you guys that might listen to this and you guys are already good players like this is not for you. This is for the guys who are not there yet. So don't look at this as like, oh, it's not high level gameplay because you do it. Somebody else doesn't know that, and so they're not doing this. And so now I focus this guy. Teammate didn't finish this guy, nor did my ult do anything to that Bangalore, surprisingly. But teammate's doing a great job at just trying to figure out my pace and cover me as best as he can, and we're really starting to build a good like flow here, right? All right, so I'm allowing teammate to take space here and kind of figure out what's going on. So when I get seer scan, I move because I don't want to get singled out. If I got singled out and stayed where I was, I would have died, right? So luckily, this team did not shoot me in the back when I hopped over, which lets me know this team is not wanting to be aggressive because it's four squads left. So I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. The shots give me indication as to where that guy is. Now I'm just kind of trying to kind of see what's going on here, right? So I get on the rock, try to use cover. I've identified where the seer is. And this team has the same idea as us. This team wants to kind of flush us out, right? And so for me, while I'm kind of moving around in this area here, I'm kind of really trying to gauge really fast what's playable, what can I use as headies, when these guys, ultimately probably come over this hill, right? You know, that's what I'm really kind of doing. I'm trying to see how much space I have, what my cover looks like. I'm trying to really do that first before I start fighting. So there's no guesswork where my pathing might need to be depending on how the fight goes. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm taking in all that information as I'm playing. I've done this for so long that I'm not thinking about it. I'm just doing it. And so me and teammate, we spread out. We're not hugging each other. We're not on top of each other. Teammate gives me the cue that there's a guy coming up on his right, and I already start preparing for that just in case, right? So I'm trying to get a gauge on where these guys are. I shoot this out, and I just immediately start trying to cover for teammate here, right? We get a guy flown in through my ult. Now we talk about the isolation of a guy. He's by himself here, right? His teammates are nowhere to be found. He's by himself. We have to take that like immediately. We can't wait. You see me come in, I already crack him. I'm playing around his shield. Teammates doing a great job, and we're just scaring this guy. Boom, we get him down immediately. Now it's a 2v1 or a 2v2. Guy swings on teammate. Teammate does good shots. I do good shots as well. Now we get one more guy down. He uses his Q here. And I preemptively, like I said, throw my Q out because we have Storm on our back, and it's allowing me and teammate to move way faster as a duo than if I didn't have my Q. Because if I was any other character like Wraith or Ash or Pathfinder, it would not be as efficient to be doing what we're doing. You know, we're in and out, we're getting our kills, we're being efficient as an individual, and we're moving together and we're moving to spot very quickly, which allows us not to get thirded. That's probably one of the biggest parts about this entire fight leading up to these top like 5 squads, right? So immediately teammate goes into the trenches. I identify where a guy is. Storm's coming in. I didn't think he was going to live here, but somehow he was able to live. So this guy gets right there behind the bin, right? And so we need to kind of get this guy out the way. But as you can see, team up here. So in my head, I know I need to play on this left side, right? That's what I need to do, right? Because this team they're not going to be able to see me when I'm here on this wall. So I know that, right? So I heal. Teammate does a great job of just giving us bubble here. And I try to just kind of like ult this guy and get him out the way. But it stops a little bit soon. But like I said, we have to get this guy out the way. Like we know he's here behind this wall. And so I forget that I had nades, but then I use them to get this guy out the way. Just to kind of move him off of this spot. He would just stay there and tank all of that. Right? So boom, we're able to get him here. Alright, so now we got 2 squads left. So information from earlier, right? While we're getting shot at earlier, right? The team let me know they're on height by shooting at us earlier when we came into the trench. So that's one team. But where's the second team? So I tell teammate, hey, we're going to have to ult height. What I wanted him to do was probably ult the team on height, and then we take the team down low, right? That was what I wanted to do. Because if we take the team down low, we put ourselves down there in the trench to get shot at from on high. We're in a decent spot here to not get thirded. The team on low ground in that little spot that's like over here, they're just getting seen by the team here on height. And so the team that's on height doesn't want to overextend to kill us, right? And if they do, then they're really, really stupid. And I wouldn't put it past these guys to do that, but they don't. All right, so right here, like I said, we're just taking space. I'm just looking, you know, I'm seeing guys on top of the rock. I don't want to stay here because I don't want them to see me. So I move over. And I hear them roping, so I know they're above me. Right, teammate moves as well, takes the space. And we just shoot out the mats. As you can see, like me and this Gibby, I mean, we're really efficient, right? We're really efficient together. So what you're gonna notice here, these guys start fighting now, which is smart because You want to start that fight earlier than later because you don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage. Plus, the team on low ground, they're going to get shot by us if they don't take the fight now. Teammate gets one knock, which is great. We immediately just aim down here and we just finish this up. Now it's one squad left. And I don't know if teammate used ult here or if the team on the low ground used ult, but either way, the plan is going to work out how it's supposed to work out. So I hear the Gibby ult going off, and there's a cat wall, which is perfect. So we have a cat wall that's blocking LOS, which gives us time to then move to this spot. It couldn't have been written up any better. Now all we got to do, it's a 2v3 and we have to execute. That's literally it. So I'm trying to figure out where to throw this. So or where to shoot my ult because I'm trying to see if I can see maybe one person out of this before I just shoot it randomly. That's why I'm taking my time with holding it. And so I use it here and it already identifies somebody. And it goes for the person and it does exactly what we needed here, which is to knock this guy up in the sky. And like I said, now we create the separation yet again. It's a 3v2, but now we already make it a 2v1 because we only have one guy that's exposing himself right now. So this is what you want. You get this guy up in the air. He gets stunned by a Gibby bubble. And we have Gibby Dome still to give us cover from the Bangalore ult. So now we got one guy down. It's a 2v2. And I get healed because I'm an assault character that if you get the knock, you get the heal. So I see this one guy here, and I'm trying to get myself out of the open here because I don't want to get shot at and die, right? Because I'm kind of stunned from the ult. So I accidentally go backwards here. I go back into teammates' dome just to kind of like reset. These guys, I can tell they're scared because all they want to do is just res. They see Gibby Dome up, they're scared. That lets me know everything I need to know. Shoot this down, I do a little damage. One guy is stepping up. Yet again, the 2v1, the isolation. Now it's just a matter of hitting your shots, right? And let's just take a look at this. So look at how I shoot this guy, right? You want to play with pace, right? So I shoot, unpeak, and then I just go ahead and finish it off, and I play discipline here and get back behind my cover. Even though it's a 2v, it was a 2v1. Just because now it's a 2v1 again doesn't mean you have to play out of character. Continue to play your game. So it's one guy, boom. I shoot this out. Now teammates on height. Now I'm coming up here. Like I said again, right? Create the sandwich, right? Create that. Create that. Come back up. One guy. Finish it off.
Oh my god.
Finish it off. Right? So
Oh my god.
teammates happy. Teammates happy. I'm happy. I mean, we won that game together, right? And so I could tell that, my teammate was like just as good as I was. You know what I mean? If not better. And so that's just kind of what my mindset was kind of going into or as I was going through the game. 10 kills, 3K, teammate with 6 kills, 11 assists, 3K. Hopefully you guys can learn at least just something, right? Like I said, guys, if you already play this way or better, I mean, it's fine, right? But for the guys who are trying to figure it out, for the guys who just kind of don't know what to look for when you're fighting to be successful, I'm just giving you kind of some of the things that I do and kind of what I see when I play. And this is some of these things a lot of players see. We see things very similarly. Obviously, you can tell we do because I just played with a Gibby that saw things very similarly. And when you get guys that are like that, you guys are able to really dominate and your games can go a lot like this. And so, if you guys can take anything from what I was able to kind of give you guys and teach you, that's what matters to me. So, listen, that's all I wanted to do today. I was going to break that down, but I appreciate all the love, all the support. I'm out. Peace.